Get right back to that breaking news right off the top. Hi, everybody. I'm Reed Cowan. So the White House confirms accomplishing a tentative agreement with Iran on ending the war. So let's talk about it live to CBS News correspondent Caitlin Huey-Burns at the White House. Caitlin, we know you're just digging into these details. What are you hearing there?
Hey, Reed, good to see you. Well, this we know from our White House press pool. They have confirmed what has been reported in an Axios report, that they are close to reaching a deal and that the president has to just sign off on it. But notably, the president has not signed off yet, and Iran has not signed off either. But I want to walk you through what the Axios reporting says. And it basically is a deal to launch negotiations. They are reporting that this is a memorandum of understanding for 60 days that would extend the ceasefire and also launch negotiations over Iran's nuclear program. This would also include having unrestricted shipping through the strait and have 30 days for Iran to remove all mines from the strait and eventually agree not to pursue nuclear weapons. But Reed, the devil will really be in the details here if both parties agree to this. This seems like a launch into negotiations rather than fine print on achieving goals. So there are a lot of open questions that remain. And the president just said yesterday that he is willing to wait this out, that he is not feeling the political pressure that is building from Americans who are worried about higher gas prices and their own personal economies. He's not feeling the pressure that Republicans on Capitol Hill are facing as they are facing their own constituents back at home who are concerned about their own financial situation in regards to some of the economic consequences of this. So he is saying that he is willing to wait it out. But he also said that he's not feeling this political pressure. So we'll wait to see what exactly the deal is if it is reached. But again, this seems like a launching point with a lot to be worked out. And Reed, if you feel like we've had this conversation before, we have. It feels like the past 3 or 4 days or so have been complete whiplash of getting to a deal, not getting into a deal. So we're taking all of this, of course, with a grain of salt. And as the vice president said just last week, nothing is final until they are in the room and signing documents. And, we're not at that point.
Especially with the distrust that both sides hold for each other. Caitlin Huey-Burns, thank you so much there from the White House. So as Caitlin put it, the devil's in the details, right? So let's look at some of that. Live to Robert Murrett. He's professor at the Maxwell School of Citizenship and Public Affairs at Syracuse University. Professor, it's also worth noting to our viewers, you're also a retired Navy Vice Admiral. How confident are you that the deal could be real?
I think we're hopeful all the time, but we have to have some expectation management, Reed, as you're so familiar with. It would be good if the press reporting that Caitlin just gave us and the fast-moving breaking news was accurate. But deferring the discussions on nuclear issues for 60 days, a period they talked about, and trying to reopen the straits, which will take some time just based on the backlogs of ships there and just the maritime mechanics of getting all the backlog through the Straits of Hormuz would be a good step forward, and so we can remain hopeful.
A lot of people distrusting the Iranian regime, and some people are saying the Iranians are aware of reporting on our economy. They're aware of the midterm elections coming up. And is there any chance that the Iranians are just running out the clock to see what happens here in the United States economically and politically to their favor?
Yeah, Reid, a great question. If you look at the history of our negotiations with the Iranians going back for many presidents, they do tend to throw roadblocks in at the last minute and to kind of change their negotiating positions from time to time. We can still remain hopeful on this one, but there's a lot of details. As Caitlin was just saying, I mean, we need to see more of the specifics of what's being looked at, and until it is firmly approved, and we have some announcements of both Tehran and the White House that are consistent with each other, I think we just have to wait and see.
Iranian state media is reportedly saying that they will be remaining the sovereign controllers of the Strait of Hormuz, that critical oil shipping route. If indeed the president signs off on that point alone and then kicks the can down the road for more time to continue the talks on the nuclear discussion, the red line nuclear discussion, does that signal to President Trump supporters and even his detractors that maybe this has been a little bit of a loss for him?
Reed, I think it certainly have to interpret it that way. The straits need to be open without any constraints on them at all, whether it's, any arrangements that the Iranians may have with Oman has been released the last couple of days. Of course, more discussion about Oman yesterday. But they need to be free and open, as they were before the conflict started. And that's in everybody's interest in the region, to include the Iranians. A final comment I would make, Reed, a lot of the pronouncements that you hear, especially from inside Iran, are directed at different audiences. Certain of the people in the government in Iran make pronouncements that are for a domestic audience, for some of the hardliners there, others for international audiences and so forth. So I think you have to be careful how we interpret different kinds of either hardline or more conciliatory statements that are coming out of Tehran.
So once again, for our viewers watching CBS News 24/7, you see it on the screen. Word, a tentative agreement has been reached with Iran. Still, Iranian leaders have not signed off, nor has the President of the United States. So all eyes on the White House and the Middle East. Professor Robert Murrett, always an honor to talk to you here on CBS News 24/7. Thank you so much for your insights and your expertise today.